Hello, and we're back. Well, you can see we took this crossbar out, and now we're going to have it fall in line with these other ones right here. So we're flipping it around for us. We're going to go ahead and put it up in here. And that way, we don't have to relocate to the other side of Sawmill. And everything is done up pretty well, guys. But would I still recommend this sawmill? Yes, I would. Again, and I keep reiterating, it is an evolution. Might help if I put the bolt through on the correct side. It is an evolution. And it is a way for us to achieve what we are looking to do. So, well, yes, I would recommend this sawmill. Now, could you put this thing together real fast with air tools and the like, or use a electric impact wrench, a little portable generator, things of that nature? Yeah, you can knock it out real quick, guys. Hands down, not gonna lie to you. So, it's just a matter of what you got to work with, how you want to work with it, and the like. But again, it's what you got to work with, and it's a matter of staging. So we're using very rudimentary tools. What do you have, and what can you carry in? Now, some people, if they're going to do remote site work, they may or they may not have a lot of stuff. We're going to concept, you don't. So, that's how we're approaching this. Alright, we're putting a little compression fitting on this. You can see it on this side right here. It's pretty much a horseshoe design. And you can see it's got a face clamp right here. So what the compression fitting will do is it'll clamp it in. That could probably be worked on better as far as the design. I would think you could probably come back and probably put some kind of slide bracket. That might make things easier. Because whenever you deal with bent metal, you're dealing with, well, you got stress points right there, and eventually this thing will break. That's just a metallurgical, mechanical certainty. But I can understand the reasoning behind it. So we're tightening up this side. We got the one side snugged up, sawmill side. And now what we're going to do is come back around and go ahead and finish trying to flush this up and get this track trued. And it's truing up nicely. Get a deal on 25, 50 acres of land, whatever suit you need, and you're looking to put this in place and start whittling away at building a log cabin per se. So, and there's numerous designs of log cabins out there. So if you're going to go, say, the Appalachian style log cabin, that is square beams, dovetailed joints, stacked with chinking, which is a masonry component, then I would say this could probably do you some justice. In all reality, you just got to make sure you got plenty of log bunk to handle what you're looking to do. If you're looking to, needless to say, if you're dealing with 15-foot, 20-foot lengths of timber, then you need to make sure, number one, that you have the machinery that can handle that kind of load to put it on your log bunk. Number two, make sure you have sufficient length of your log bunk to handle what you're cutting. And then, as we've learned, whittling it down and having fun. So we're going to finish doing this right here, and we're going to go ahead and get this thing set up for you. Learn from them. But you know, on the grand scheme of things, this has been quite an enjoyable process, and we'd like to thank you guys for being there with us. Hopefully, it's been a quasi-enjoyable process for y'all too. That way, you can kind of learn from our mistakes, and that's a good way to do it. And that's another reason why we are approaching these videos the way we are. Before we started this adventure, and when I say that, I'm talking about before we decided to purchase a sawmill. And we started narrowing it down and what would fit our need based on the overall diameter of the timber on our property, because we're dealing with nominal timber diameter of 20 inches on average. You've seen the logs we've put so far on the mill, and really, guys, there's some pretty decent sized timber. And we got bigger. So we got our extra section here. So that means we can put some longer ones on here. How about them apples? You know? And a lot of this, what we're doing is showing what you can do with what you have. And at the time we got this place, and still to this very day, this fits our needs nicely. Our goal, and hopefully the takeaway you're getting, will be what can we do, or what can I do to get the most out of what I have. If you got 6 acres of solid yellow pine timber, your average tree diameter is 20 inches in diameter, give or take 18, 20, or bigger. What kind of yield am I going to get? What can I do with this? And that is part of our journey, because we are learning this as well as we start. So you've seen us yield some decent beams so far. That would be very good for building. We're going to continue with doing that. So we're going to get this finished up here. Stick around. I'm going to go ahead and bolt up on it. And you can see how I flipped this cross brace around so it follows suit with the rest of them. Initially, when I dropped this in place, it was around the other way. And you know, that wasn't going to work too well. You need to have everything lined up right. So this will give us some definite better clearance for what we're doing here. So flipped it around again. It's 17 millimeter bolting assemblies on there. 17 millimeter combination wrench right there. You see the big 1.7 hopefully. And that way we can have a little bit more room to play with when we put a nice hefty log on. Alright, we're lag bolting this down here before we put the adjustment track on. I got some standard, I believe these are 9/16. Good old standard sized lag bolts. Using this in a nice we're anchor bolting this down here. That way we are securing it to our dunnage. when you get this, remember that these key openings, slots, face up. Now, could I add reinforcement to this dunnage right here? Because you notice I only got one lag bolt on this side. Yeah, I could. Could I have drilled another hole in this and potentially put more lag bolts in place? Yeah, I could have. But I'm using the factory equipment. We're going with that. I'm not planning to really move this sawmill until we get quite a bit done. So pretty much where it sits is where it's going to be. Now this little backstop right here, again, 17 millimeter. And what this does is you can see it fits right here, right at the end, and it prevents your sawmill from flying off the track. You only need it on one side. When it comes on one side, you have your guide rail right here, and pretty much that's all it takes. Just a little backstop, nothing really exquisite or hardcore. Just a little preventative here. So we got a sawmill repositioned. We got the extra bunk on. Beautiful day. Different boots have different kinds of soles. Different boots have different kinds of purposes. You don't wear logging boots to go ride a horse. You can, but it doesn't work very well in the stars. You don't wear cowboy boots to go and perform logging. You can, but you don't get very good traction. If you notice the bottoms of these boots, even though we got mud packed on them, got nice little spikes on them. They provide sheer footing. So much so, let me show you what I'm talking about in this shingle right here. I put my boot on it and I grab it. No problem. Digs in. Now, why is that important? If anyone is down to any timber, if anyone's been around a lot of limbs on the forest floor, or just when you're cutting in your own yard, you get lots of limbs. Limbs will sometimes have morning dew on them, lots of water and the like. Those limbs get slick, hands down. How many of you dropped a lot of timber? I don't care if it's in the yard. I don't care if it's out there in the forest of your uncle or your dad or older brother. And, well, you slipped and busted your butt because of those limbs. Limbs get really greasy. They get really slick. What do these spikes do? They allow you to dig in. They allow you to get sure footing regardless of what's going on. But if it comes to working out, and this is just my preference, when it comes to working out here, and when I decide to do some serious tree cutting, or if I know I'm really going to be working back in the brush with a saw, I want a solid point of base, solid footing. Again, you want to get all that tanglefoot out of your way. You want clear area to work on, like we've talked about in a couple of our videos so far. That is first and foremost what you want to achieve. With that being said, though, not everything is perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to set back up on some timber here, and we're going to see about getting some more done for us. So stick around, we got some good stuff coming.